we're going to be addressing Jake the Metaphysician. Now, Jake has made a video on his channel determining how Muslims can deal with the Islamic dilemma. And for those of you who don't know, the Islamic dilemma is when Muslims open the Quran and realize they've been lied to. Is when Muslims read the Quran and they realize there are statements in the Quran that affirm the previous scriptures, namely the Injil and the Torah. Now, as David Wood and others have pointed out, this is a big favorite of Christian apologists.
If we have the inspired, preserved, authoritative Word of God, Islam is false, because Islam contradicts what we have. If we don't have the inspired, preserved, authoritative Word of God, Islam is false, because the Quran affirms the inspiration, preservation, and authority of our book. So if the gospel is the Word of God, Islam is false. If the gospel isn't the Word of God, Islam is false. Either way, Islam is false.
So let's get to the video.
The common claim from these Christian apologists, or Islamophobes.
Really, Jake? We're 5 seconds into the video, you're already coming out with things like Islamophobe. Come on, Jake.
This must be a new record. Muslims usually wait until they have no more arguments before they start throwing the Islamophobe insult at us.
Remember, guys, if you're trying to make an argument in favor for Islam and it's going terrible, it's going horribly wrong, you want to get out of there, you don't know what to do, just call everyone you're debating with Islamophobes.
For all the Islamophobes that are coming through.
Yeah.
I love this sound, man.
Yeah.
Huh? Islamophobes? What you say? What?
Jihad? No.
It's a quick, simple, and track record approved way of winning an argument.
Today we have to debunk a common Christian apologetic about Islam. Does the Quran affirm the current Bible that we have today as the uncorrupted word and revelation of God?
Yes, Jake. If by Bible you mean the Torah and the Injil, then yes. Because the Quran in Surah Al-Imran, Ayah 3, says that Allah revealed the Torah and the Injil, and the Quran. So that demonstrates that the Torah and the Injil are inspired. Now, how do we know that that Torah and that Injil that is being mentioned here is the same Torah and Injil that Muhammad has in his current day? We know this because of verses like Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayah 41, which says, "And believe in what I have sent down, confirming that which is already with you." Or in Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayah 89, which says, "And when there came to them a book, i.e. the Quran, from Allah, confirming that which was with them." Okay then, so the Torah and the Injil at the time of Muhammad was inspired by Allah. Great.
For the sake of argument, let's assume that the Quran does claim the Bible is the uncorrupted revelation of God. In that case, we shouldn't expect the Quran to constantly and purposefully correct the Bible now, should we?
So in other words, he is saying that even if the Quran validates the Bible, the Quran is still true. What?
Not unless the Quran wants to contradict itself or demonstrate very quickly that it has no idea what is actually in the written texts. And here lies the meat of Jake's argument. The Quran is correct and can both confirm the scriptures at Muhammad's time, the Torah and the Injil, but also contradict them, because by contradicting them, it's a super secret way of letting you know that these verses are corrupt and the Quran is actually just rectifying them. It's just, the Quran is true. The Quran affirms the Injil and the Torah. The Quran contradicts the Injil and the Torah. How do we know that the Quran has not made an error? Because the Quran is true.
This is classic Islamic circular reasoning. The Quran is true because the Quran says so.
Very simply, when you assume the validity and the truthfulness of your own religion as a starting point for where you ultimately end up with, which is that Islam is correct and true and is really from Allah, then it is just a big circle. Nothing interesting or no arguments have been made here. It is purely the fact they double down. The text itself must be superior because it must be true, and therefore it must supersede over prior scriptures.